action-packed afternoon in court, so I want to bring you up to speed as quick as I can on what was happening. We did have more of the questioning of Agent Shalakas on the stand, and this was fun to watch in that he's been a very he's a tough witness. I mean, when the prosecution is questioning Shalakas, he is animated, and he answers their questions with no hesitation. He's talkative, and this is to be expected. When the defense begins asking questions in cross-examination, there's a very interesting transformation that comes over Agent Shalakas. Now, you'll notice this when he's asked a question that he does not want to answer. First of all, the words we heard more than anything were, "I don't recall." He said it so many times I actually lost count to very specific questions that were being asked about the phone call that he and Agent Johnson had taped with Ryan Bundy, also the follow-up on a phone call that was made to Clancy Cox, and the video and contact that was made with Clancy Cox. They actually played the video in its entirety. I know the defense was concerned about that video, but until the audio quality was so horrible for most of it that I don't know that it really added much to the prosecution's case. They played it, they got out of it whatever they did, but it wasn't necessarily that beneficial. You could barely understand what Clancy Cox was saying. Here's what was interesting though. When cross-examination started and when Shalakas was being questioned, every time he got a question from the defense, he would shake his head. Even if he was saying yes, he'd shake his head, and then he would act confused with every question. I don't know what you're saying. Now, look, I'm not an expert on interrogation or resisting interrogation. I do remember reading one time about training to resist interrogation. That was actually one of the things that they had mentioned was make sure you shake your head no matter what question they ask you. Shake your head no matter what your answer is. Feign confusion. And I thought, I wonder if Agent Shalakas read that same article, because that was his response. And what it led to was a very interesting exchange between him and Ryan Bundy, in which I want to make sure I got my notes on this correct. Ryan was questioning Shalakas on cross-examination and asked him about a memorandum of activity that has to be filed whenever they have undertaken some kind of official action within the BLM. One of the things specifically that came out was, while Shalakas was not the author of that memorandum of activity, he did sign off on it. He was an assistant, and he had put his name on it as, yes, this is a truthful statement. Well, Ryan Bundy was recorded on telephone on March 17th of 2014. The next day, he called Agent Johnson and Agent Shalakas and wanted to know, among other things,